York. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Michele Landers for the October New Month Forecast. We adore Michele here at EWN. She's our very favorite numerologist who is also fascinated with astrology, and it all comes together into her October forecast. So, Michele, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank EWN so much. You know, as I say every month, I just love what you're doing, and it is my honor, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to come on every month. So thank you, and thank the viewers who are watching. So, okay, everybody, take a deep breath. It's kind of like I saw somebody else say this, and I said, oh my goodness, that is it. It's like this month is waiting to exhale. And I thought, okay, it is bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. And I'm not saying that just because Halloween is coming, but it's appropriate because the month may just turn out to be, I don't want to frighten everybody, but similar to July. And in some areas, maybe even a little bit more intense. So if you know all the things that happen in July, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I'm going to say something else. This is going to sound kind of strange, but it makes sense to me, I think. I think everyone this month would benefit to go to an Al-Anon meeting. And that sounds crazy, but Al-Anon is about staying in your own lane and about taking care of your, you know, checking in with yourself, not getting involved in other people's stuff. So I'm kidding, but not really. The month's energy is overall intense, punctuated with a few really lovely energies and encouraging bright spots, or I don't want to say encouraging, I want to say supportive. So that's why I'm saying that Al-Anon would be good for us to understand about balance, which that's what Libra is all about. So we're in Libra season, and we associate Libra, the sign of Libra is the scales. So it is about balance or out of balance, relationships, beginning, ending, partnerships, beginning, ending. And right there we have a clue, because the month is looking like there is a lot of things that are going to try and balance out, and it might be a little bit of, you know, a struggle. So because of the eclipse that's happening tomorrow, yeah, I thought about doing this beforehand, but it's okay. I know how these events can happen. You know, I'll use the word shadow period, and I don't think that's quite appropriate, but these events can happen. The big events can happen around these transits. Actually, before the actual, sorry about moving this around, before the actual transit begins. So we have this like 7-day period before, 7 days after, but also, and this is really important to note, an eclipse, the energy of it can last for 6 months. And that, you'll understand why I'm saying that in a few moments. So it might be a little bit more subdued, or it might be just, you know, the things are working out there that aren't going to, you know, come full circle until 6 months. All right, I've got to close this up. Sorry about that. Okay, so the positive characteristics of Libra is wanting balance, being fair, being logical, okay? The toxic or out of balance energy of Libra is passive-aggressive behavior, people-pleasing, codependency, that's why I mentioned the Al-Anon, resentment or bitterness. So like every sign, we have both the positive and the negative. And then, of course, we have the numerological energy and the planetary activity, and even the tarot energy, which I always like to talk about because they all come together. So what's showing up this month? Well, a good indication of what's going on this month is with the numerological energy of October, which is the number 9. October is the 10th month. 2024 equals 8. 8, add 8 to 10, you get 18. Add 1 plus 8, and that equals 9. So therefore, October holds the energy of the 9 universal months. So the first thing that comes to mind with the number 9 is its connection to endings and closures. That's only part of it. The good part of it I will talk about too. So it brings matters to a close and asks us, what do we need to let go of? And that's an important question this month. The number 9 has all the qualities of all the numbers that preceded, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8. So it is a big, bold number, and it's about humanity. It shows us what is and what isn't working any longer in our lives. And I always remind everyone, this is on a global level, and this is personally. So what is or what isn't working in our lives? Well, we've got to pay attention to that. It's like a person who's in a relationship that is getting all the signs of it's time to leave. It's time to move on. But they hang on until something really traumatic happens and they say, okay, that's it. When the number 9 is the energy that you're under, it's asking you, before things get too bad, you better let go of what's no longer working or helping or healing before it gets to a critical point. So the energy of the 9 is in many ways outwardly focused, helping others, making it a time of kindness, of generosity, of altruism. And the number 9 asks us to go deep within and examine, what do we need to clean up and clear out? And of course, this is for the world and again, individually, but so the world is going to show us some things that really need to be let go of. So I want to also mention that in life, we have many choices, but there is such a thing as predestination and free will, which is probably a topic for a much longer conversation. So sometimes things end and we are the catalyst for that. We want it to end. We need it to end. And in other ways, it's just going to end because it's predestined. And I think it's kind of a mixture of that. So I think what's going on right now is it will become clear this month in October what needs to be transformed or what needs to end or will end, old habits, relationships, situations that have run their course and can naturally just fall away. So this month we're going to experience emotions on steroids. I mean, really, so much intensity. I know this is nothing new. It's been like this, you know, building for the whole year. And of course, I am completely aware that we're going to we're working towards the election, and that has some of it, but it's also the astrological and numerological aspects are echoing all of this, even in the tarot cards. So I would suggest this month, take a check-in, examine your ego, any ego traps that might be standing in your way. Let go of any insecurities. Let go of beliefs that are blocking your abundance. If you're feeling angry inside, and I know this is probably true for a lot of people, try to let go of that anger to let the light come in and to let the balance come in, okay? And again, the 9 is the number of humanitarian. So I think there'll be a lot of humanitarian efforts are going to be highlighted. And actually that's true, right? With everything that's been going on, especially with this shocking Helene that ripped through so many unexpected states. And the 9 also carries a higher vibration of universal consciousness and spiritual awakening. And then we also have the holiday of not just Halloween, but Samhain, which is October 31st. And that's a sacred time when spirits are believed to walk among us, offering us blessings. That's so potent and so filled with spiritual energy. And I invite people to do something around that time that will help them tap into this other world for many reasons, to tap into spirits if you choose, or tap into the divine. So many people are going to definitely feel more inclined towards introspection, seeking a deeper understanding of themselves. I also know that the 9 is about the arts and the entertainment field, and I would expect some type of activity or news, either about people in the entertainment field, good and bad, or just generally news about the entertainment industry, or something is coming up, or something is evolving in the entertainment industry. And again, we're in Libra season, and Libra is all about relationships, partnerships, having balance. So there may be a need in our own personal life to make adjustments in our relationships and our partnerships in a positive way. So let's look at the tarot cards for the month. And by the way, the United States is, let's see, the United States is in, an 11/2 month. That's a lot of surprises. Okay. So first we have, do I have them here? Yeah, I have the 18th card, and that is the Moon card. So what does the moon represent, right? You can see it looks kind of like, wow, what are they doing? It looks a little foreboding, but things coming out of the ocean, which I love that, because there is a focus on water and oceans as well. And so that card, that was the 18th, not the 9. I thought I was going to talk about the 9th. We're going to do that too. It's wait and watch to see what's going to be revealed. It's telling us you do not have all the information yet, and use your intuition. And then we have the 9, which is the Hermit card, which I love the Hermit card. And that Hermit card is very gentle. It's a light bearer, but it says, really, before you're going to be the light bearer, you need to go within. And as I mentioned, it is a wonderful time to do some deep inner work. It can also mean that we're in a very pivotal point, which I think is so telling, because we really are at a pivotal point in our country and the world, but I'll get back to that in a moment. So what's coming up tomorrow? Tomorrow is the solar eclipse. And it's also called the Ring of Fire, and I love it because that's the way it shows up in the sky. And then fortunately or unfortunately, if you're at a place where you could see it, it's great. And that would be, I think, Chile, Easter Island, things like that. Now, eclipses also are most potent 7 days before, 7 days after, but they have the energy for 6 months going forward. So during that time, other things will be revealed. So bear that in mind as we go on. So again, the eclipse occurs in Libra. Astrologically, solar eclipses are known for initiating new beginnings, sudden changes, and turning points. However, the ruler of Libra is Venus, and at the time of this eclipse, Venus is in Scorpio, and Venus is not really that fond of Scorpio. It's kind of too intense, too obsessive. But I was thinking maybe some romantic instances, that's not so bad, that energy, Venus in Scorpio. So an eclipse tells us that something in your life could very well come out, something that you're not aware of. At any rate, it can be a pretty intense time. And there's also a grand water trine. So what does that do? What do we know about water? It's emotional. So it makes it a very emotional time. Could it be a time of crisis? something's happening this month for sure. So we have Mars in Cancer, not happy, in the 9th house, which is foreigners and justice. There can be hidden news being revealed, and there will likely, I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to. We can expect an escalation in the war in Gaza, involvement with Iran and Lebanon, and we'll see how that is probably going to escalate. And another thing to know about this eclipse is that Mars will be almost exactly, and this is important, on the sun of the chart of the USA. Now, the sun in the chart of the USA will usually represent either the president or leaders. So, I don't want to be a doomsdayer, but I'm just saying that astrologically, and this is what I'm hearing, this could be some type of attack on our nation. It could be one of those other cyber attacks or something like that, or something having to do with our leaders coming out or being exposed. Now, a lot of this, though, is also going the timeline. As far as the timeline, I think it's going to be like a crescendo, and a lot of it can be now, but it's also mid-month is really an intense time. And some astrologers saying that, I'll just say it, Trump's chart indicates again he has to be very careful and aware of attacks now through June. And there also can be, again, the hidden news about some other escalations and wars coming out. So, all right, let me jump ahead because there's some other things I wanted to mention. Also we have some Jupiter energy going, and Jupiterian energy sometimes has to do with royalty. So there may be other things coming out about King Charles. We also have 2 other planets playing in the solar eclipse that I feel I have to mention, but I am not completely, totally familiar with them. I'm just learning about it. It's a fixed star, and this is a new one for me, Lindy Meatrix, and it just kind of blends in with everything. It gives falsity, it gives disgrace, it gives stealing. It talks about, things just out of balance, like totally out of balance, and things coming up that are loud, all right, and over this, like geopolitical developments all over. So remember, though, we have Mercury is conjunct the eclipse, and Mercury has to do with technology and cleverness. And we can see a little bit of a Neptunian energy here in the sense that things were hidden and mysterious, things going on. All right, so let's just move ahead to October 4th, and that's where Mercury opposes Uranus. Now, what's Mercury? Mercury is the planet of communication, big this month. And it forms an opposition to unpredictable Uranus that brings sudden changes in communication, technology, but also expected insights. But you do have a chance. That's why I said there's such a mix this month. And even when I was writing this, I was feeling this back and forth, back and forth. You do have a chance to create closer relationships, but it's not really a but. Going deep, having those deep, real conversations with people, bringing to the surface maybe things you've had hidden, or asking other people, knowing that they're not being completely truthful with you, and saying, and I don't mean confronting anybody. I don't mean confrontation. I mean having that hard conversation, or having that conversation say, wait a minute, I'm seeing this. Can we talk about it? So again, watch for unexpected news, sudden breakthroughs, disruption in communication, but it also, let's jump to the other side of technology, can bring innovative ideas. It can also create misunderstandings. After that, no, October 5th, we have Venus moving through Scorpio and a trine to Saturn. So that little bit, and Saturn forms a trine to Mars. So that can possibly like smooth some things over. So you go from, 0 to 60, and then you go back again. Now on October 9th, Jupiter is going retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini, and Mercury trines Jupiter. So what is Jupiter about? Jupiter is expansion. It expands whatever it touches. So what would that look like? Well, it's in Gemini. Gemini's communication. It's how we think. And maybe with Jupiter, it can be way too much information bombarding us, too much stuff coming out. On the other hand, maybe you're wanting, I think this is great for writing. Maybe you're wanting to expand in some way, something having to do with how you communicate or reaching more people or writing and speaking. So that's all Gemini related. So that's, we have this back and forth, this up and down. Okay, so as we get to the mid-month, I do have to take a big deep breath because October 11th through the 17th is probably going to be the most intense time. There's so many planets and transits at play. We have the numerological 9 at play. There can be a big shift. Now, we know, I've talked about this over and over and over again. Pluto is now going, it was retrograde. Now it's going direct in Capricorn at 29 degrees, and it's letting out its final and last gasp of air before going into Aquarius on November 19th. And then it's done, at least in our lifetime. So the beginning of this demolition of corporate structures and all that has come up to the surface since 2008 is going to begin a new power to the people in November. Okay, what I want to make really perfectly clear about that is this is the beginning. So it's a long-term transit. And there is no doubt in my mind that it is going to bring power to the people, more innovative and beautiful things coming up, really, really wonderful and changing how we live our life on Earth, more positive, but it's not going to happen overnight. So there's not going to be a magical wand on November 19th that all of a sudden the skies open up and, it's just raining beauty and expression and everything. The Hallelujah Angels, they're singing. It's not going to be like that, but we are going to get more and more positive hits after November 19th. And this transit right now is at 29 degrees. Now, 29 degrees is an anaretic degree, which means that's critical and it packs power. So what is that telling me? I think it can bring in some major demolitions or some major truths coming out that can be, I don't know, maybe at this point, are we immune to shocking or shocking disclosures or surprising? I don't know. But there's power struggles, hidden affairs, hidden truths, people abusing power. It's a big wake-up call. And there might even be a time where people say, I can't believe that about this person, or I can't believe that this is happening. So as you know, and I've said it many times before, Pluto transit in Capricorn has brought so many abusers out in the open. And right now it seems like a rapid fire. There was hip hop star Sean Diddy Combs, Harvey Weinstein faced a new charge. The former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch was accused of sexual assault. Former CIA officer, he was sent to 30 years in prison so all of this is coming out. September also saw new revelations about abusers as well, including Mohammed Al-Fayed, and I guess he owns Harrods, I think, in London. Pluto doesn't mess around, but it's at the end and it's exposing what needs to be exposed and demolishing what's untrue, unfair, and the abuse. But okay, so that's between October 11th and 17th, and around that. On October 12th, though, in between this, we have Venus trines Neptune. Okay, Venus, I love trines for the most part, and that's the planet of love, harmony, and beauty. A very sweet trine with Neptune, the planet of dreams, of spirituality, of imagination. So this aspect can bring kind of a dreamy, romantic, creative energy. It enhances compassion. It enhances spiritual connection. It enhances artistic inspiration. And that could have to do with the entertainment field, but also on a personal level. If you love to create, or you love to write, or you love to express, tap into that energy of Venus trining Neptune. And in fact, a lot of people might really feel drawn to start a creative project or deepen a romantic relationship or more spiritual exploration. So again, I expect this period in between here, more compassion, more inspiration, more love. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, then Pluto stations direct, and there's a Mercury-Pluto square as well. Mercury and Pluto, that can be kind of the investigator. So something to do with exposing, again, information. However, what goes along with that is this manipulative move to expose information. So we just have to be aware of that. October 13th, Mercury enters Scorpio, and Scorpio is deep, and it can be a little divisive, it can be secretive. Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto and Mars, and those are the two heavy-hitting planets. Mercury and Scorpio want to get to the truth. Mercury is our mind, and it's, again, likely, I don't know, we may be thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. So we will definitely be questioning things and wanting to know more of, hey, tell me what is really going on. And that's going to be a theme for the month as well. October 15th, Venus trines Neptune and opposes Uranus. Now, we know that Uranus is what? Shakeups, it's surprises. Venus is love and beauty. So what could that mean? Well, it could mean bringing a new relationship out of the blue. I don't know what that looks like. Something new. It could be something really nice. On the other hand, there is this energy that can somehow affect our monetary system. So news about that and money markets. But it's also an artistic. And as I said, it's kind of crazy energy. So taking another deep breath, let's move forward to October 17th, which is a really crazy full moon in Aries, conjunct Chiron, and squaring Mars in Cancer. So the full moon in Aries in the middle of the month suggests the possibility of a change in fate. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, and I want to craft my words carefully because it feels like there's some big change that may even have an effect on the election. So just put that in the back of your mind. I don't know the specifics, but it's looking like a little bit of a crisis time and big escalations. Again, I don't know how it could affect the election, but it has that energy. Mars is in Cancer. It's not happy there. So it's kind of an explosive time, whether that is literally or figuratively. It's fiery, and Aries also, you know, they have no patience. It's very. So Venus will then go into Sagittarius, which is better energy, although I think Venus in Scorpio is passionate. So if by now, and I say this, and I'm really saying it in a way, I mean, if we haven't destroyed ourselves by now, it'd be a good time to get away, take a vacay, you know, get a vacation. Okay, so that is the full moon, but I know I have more here. Okay. Yes, again, October 17th, and again, just before Venus goes into Sagittarius, it could signify a really, really nice time of artistic inspiration again. And for all those Venusian type people, it just also can mean a romantic or a friendly encounter with the unexpected. You know, Neptune is always a very pleasant aspect for love matters and imagination. So I talked about Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius. Oh, yeah. And, you know, Sagittarius is concerned with truth. And so it's the ideological warrior. And Sagittarius likes to investigate and likes the truth to come out. They like to preach too. So we have that going on along with these artistic energy. And then we have October 22nd. Well, the sun enters Scorpio in a square with Pluto. So that 22, very powerful, very powerful. So that could be another extremely emotional time. Okay, I talked about that. You know, master numbers have a really high vibration and can be intense energy. And we had the solar eclipse. Okay, so let's move ahead. I talked about, yeah, there's a lot of energy around the Middle East. October 29th, Mercury enters Scorpio. So Mercury shift into Scorpio is really, that's intense. Again, what's Mercury? Communication. So it really intensifies the communication that's going on. Conversations are more investigative, more probing. Again, focus on truth, deeper meaning. Again, this is another time where you can expect more intense and meaningful conversations. And superficial talk isn't not going to make it. It just encourages getting real. And I think on a personal level, it's going to encourage us to get to the bottom of things, whatever that is. And even with your own life, you might be saying, hey, you know what? I really need a change. I want to know what's really going on with me. What do I really want? You know, have those serious conversations with others if you need to clear the air, or also with yourself. October 30th, Mercury opposes Uranus. We know what Mercury is. We know what Uranus is. It brings insights, breakthroughs. It could bring breakdowns of technology, but also breakdowns of old beliefs and introduction of new ones. You know, Uranus is very much about the future. So the people that will be affected, I just threw this in, who's going to feel it the most? Who's going to feel the eclipse the most? Libra suns, moons, and ascendants, also Aries, also cardinal signs, Capricorn and Cancer. And now to close up the month, We have October 31st, Halloween, or you may know it as Samhain. And that is a great day and a beautiful day to pierce the veils of illusion, to pierce the veil of the other planes, spiritual planes. It's great. You know, the veil is supposed to be very thin. So that is a time for you to go into some really deep meditations, have some rituals, do something beautiful that day, tap into the divine, make a really concerted effort to do that on the 31st and to get some guidance for what lies ahead. So it seems like a really mixed bag, and it is. And I hope that, I guess, the closing words or closing advice is go inward, which is always the advice during any time, right? But especially during turbulent times. It's a time to honor the good, to go in, to be generous, to be compassionate, to be loving, to dig deep in relationships, to find out what it is you really want. What do you really want in this life, and know that you can attain it? And with that, I will say, wishing everyone a beautiful and as peaceful as it can be October. Get together with your friends, do some beautiful things. So good luck, everyone, and blessings.
Good luck, everyone.
I know. I don't know why I said that.
That's so funny. I've never heard you say that.
I know. I never did. All right. Can we edit that out? I guess not,
Absolutely, except it's live.
Yeah.
Just personally, friends, edit that out. A couple thoughts come to mind, which you were talking about October 11 through 17 being such an intense time. And the message that I was getting was for folks that are particularly sensitive to shifts in energy, ground yourself. Create, if you don't have it now, create it, a daily time of going in, sitting with spirit, feeding yourself spiritually. So you're standing strong and tall instead of just kind of going with whatever energies are hitting you. Truly a time to stand in your own strength. And I loved, Michele, when you said get real, because I think this is what October gives us, is the opportunity to question yourself, start speaking your truth if you haven't been yet, and forget the mask at the end of the month. This is the perfect month to take off whatever mask you have been wearing and just be real with yourself. The other thought that came to mind is here on EWN, we talk so often about being the witness participant. You are participating in the 3D, but you're also standing back and observing and just watching, why am I doing this? Who am I as a spiritual being in this 3D realm? So it's the perfect month to remember that you are a witness participant. You are not 1,000% participant. Stand back, remember who you truly are as a spiritual being. So thank you for all of that.
Wow, thank you. I think we could have just recorded what you just said and been done with it for October, because that is beautiful. I especially love the part about taking the mask off, which is so appropriate for, the theme of Halloween or Samhain. But that was beautiful. Yes, I love that. Just love it. Thank you, Ruth, for that.
Yeah. Well, fascinating month. So
yes,
I look forward to November 1 with you.
Okay. I got to gear myself up for that. I said, Michele, you better start working on November now, which I will.
Okay, interesting time, friends, to be here on the planet. So, Michelle, thank you so much. And friends at Enlightened World Network, thank you. Thank you for being with us time after time and for your own spiritual growth, because that benefits every single one of us. So keep at it. Take good care and God bless.